Hi, let's catch up. So it's been a while and I have a lot on my plate at the moment. First thing being, summer is right around the corner, which means I have a lot of things that I'm preparing for the season. Usually summer is the peak for everything actually. Travel, design projects, workshops that involve me traveling to teach. And apart from that, I am juggling life as a 32-year-old living in Berlin. With everything just kind of in my face right now, I feel like I've been put on different facets and I have maybe 15 tabs open every single day. So today I want to show you how I get things done with all these 15 tabs open, but also the analog and digital tools that help me get by and help me get from point A to point B. If you're new here, hi, I'm Abby. I'm an artist, author, and creator. In the past 10 years, I have written and illustrated books on journaling and hand lettering. I also do freelance design work. I also create content on YouTube. I have a lovely Patreon art community and I share ideas and inspiration on journaling, also on Instagram. I have been told by friends that I give a lot of productive energy to them, which I think is a good thing, but then I'm always looking for ways to streamline my process and also make it easier for me, aka my own boss, to get things done and to make sure that I don't burn myself out in the process. So yeah, let's get started and let me show you first, because we love analog over here, team analog first. And no, I did not plan all of these screens. I'm the type of person who needs to write everything down. I don't know about you, but it really helps scratch that itch in my brain, especially when I have an idea. It's like, oh, project A, project B, project C, but it never really comes into fruition unless I take a pen, open my notebook, and write it down, regardless if I do anything about that project or I just leave it be. In a way, it really helps me clear my head and also just, you know, those moments where you can't sleep at night. I need to write those things down, because if not, it's gonna haunt me all night and I'm not gonna have a good sleep. And what the analog system does for me is actually get these ideas and thoughts and put them into paper and find a way to kind of problem solve. So we're gonna start with the biggest notebook of the bunch. This is my Leuchtturm 1917 notebook. This is in A5. Basically, this is my germination. Wow, that's so sciencey. Germination notebook. I basically plant all the ideas here. It's like I have all these seeds and I'm just putting them on this notebook. I also set aside a corner of the notebook, last few pages, for a course that I'm taking about storytelling for content creation. So I've really been also in student mode. So that's also something on my plate right now. So I've been enjoying it. It's a great system, and this is always open on my desk because I need it as like a big book to refer back to anytime I need to refer back to ideas or see what I need to get done. Next, we're gonna go with the small size, this pocket notebook. I have been using this pocket notebook from Field Notes since, when did I start? January 2025. So what this does is I write a lot of my outlines here for videos. I don't write scripts when it comes to making these YouTube videos, but I really need a place where I kind of map out what I want to say, and this notebook does the job. This is probably, I would say, my director's notebook, production notebook. Another thing I like to do is when I'm traveling to a certain city, for example, I'm headed to London soon to teach workshops, I want to think of content pieces that I want to make from my trip to London, probably like stationery shops, a little vlog, something about a museum that I'm visiting, and this is the notebook where I write those ideas because it's just easy for me to capture everything. Last but not the least, this is the only notebook in my system that has actual dates. So this is my plotter narrow and this is my EDC. It's called Everyday Carry. I literally carry this with me every time I'm traveling, in my carry-on, in every trip that I go to, every time I'm out of the house, if I'm co-working with friends. This is the only planner that I bring. Since there's a band, I just kind of do it like that, or I actually put it inside so it's a bit more secure. And it fits right in. So this is my compact system. In a way, it kind of streamlines what I have from the 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚔, because this one is like a chaotic mix of ideas, and then here it's more like the tasks that I need to do. So my plotter has the monthly view and the weekly view. I would say that the monthly view on the plotter I don't use as much, except for appointments, like life admin appointments like therapy, going to the dentist, going to the doctor. Generally, the rest is on digital, which is in Akiflow, who is sponsoring today's video. More on that later. Another thing that I also have here is the weekly view, which is really important for me, especially if I schedule my workouts and I organize things that I need to do, for example, chores or life admin. So most of my life admin is here. There is the right side of the weekly view where I write at least like 3 or 4 tasks that I really need to get done for that day. Otherwise, I keep things pretty much simple in my analog planner because I don't really like overthinking planning. The more I overthink my planning, the more stressed out I am doing the actual work. At the end of the day, I just need to have a reminder to be able to get this, and that done. Technically, I could go on a full analog system with all of my notebooks and planning tools. However, we live in a digital world, and in this day and age, having a computer is really important, especially for my job, because I mostly do content on the internet and I promote most of the things that I need to work on through social media and through the World Wide Web. And so with that, I do think having a digital set of tools for my planning really enhances the process and also makes it easier for me to coordinate with other people I work with. So I work with clients. I also work with shop owners, especially if I'm doing workshops. And I also work with my small team. I have a video editor and a content manager who I work with here and there. And we're all in different time zones. So it's really important for me to be able to coordinate with every single one of them, making sure everyone is informed and on track. And one way that I do that is, of course, through my digital tools. Let's start with Notion. I have been trying out different ways to create like a content calendar. And through Notion, I set up like an Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon database where I kind of switch through the different platforms and see, because I do a lot of content management where it requires, like, if I have a YouTube video up, I also want to share an Instagram post, like a carousel post or a reel, to let people know that I have a new video. And another thing that I do is the same with Patreon. You know, Patreon is my creative community / journal club, but Patreon also has a lot of exclusive content. So if there's something I want to promote specifically, I will also use Instagram or YouTube as a tool to kind of talk about it. And so everything works hand in hand that way. So for me, it's just easier to have everything there. With Notion, it does track a lot of my big picture projects, but the one thing I don't do is my to-dos are not on Notion. It's just a place for everything to come together. And for some reason, I just never found it as a place to write my to-dos. For me, it's not a good place to look for to-dos because of the multiple things I do on a regular basis. And that's where today's sponsor, Akiflow, comes into the picture. Akiflow has been a new addition to my workflow, and I get to organize it in a way that makes the most sense to me. Akiflow is a time blocking and task management tool, and you can see everything in one clean view. So this is my current Akiflow setup, and to give you a bit of perspective, yes, we got to film the Akiflow walkthrough. This is today, May 20th, and the view on the left-hand side is an inbox where all of my tasks are. Then if I click on the Today button, obviously it just goes to the things that I need to get done today. And then on the right-hand side, we have this calendar, and this calendar can be toggled depending on your schedule. If you want to see a 4-day view or a weekly view. You can see here that I already put in some tasks. These are things I have to do today because I am actually traveling tomorrow, Wednesday, so I need to get a lot of admin work done. What I did here was I set up my project so I know what task needs to be done for every single project I have ongoing at the moment. For example, for miso paper for my London workshops, I do have some to-dos and tasks upcoming. So I have to set up my document camera. I also have to work on a presentation and then do a tech check, which I added here. So here on the bottom right, there is a button that says chat with Aki, which is an assistant. So I'm gonna ask Aki to type out the rest of my class schedule. So it's pretty cool that you can see everything already plotted out for you, and it's really useful, especially if you have ongoing things that need to be organized. And of course, the most satisfying thing about this is when you click on the task as done. Another thing I love about AkiFlow is that it can be integrated to different accounts that you have. If you're feeling lost or overwhelmed with the features, you can always book a one-on-one onboarding session with any member from the AkiFlow team, and they will get back to you and they will walk you through the process. And look at this. I love that you still have these things kind of out in the open. So if you need to just jot down things that you need to get done for the month, I already have some things that I know I'm gonna work on, and it's really a great tool to be able to see everything from the get-go. And then when I have time, I'll revisit them every start of the week or every few days to check in and make sure that I am on track with what I need to do. If you want to try it yourself, check out the link in my description to get started with AkiFlow today. Last but not the least, I have my own cloud storage and I use Dropbox for that. So Dropbox has been one of my favorite tools since probably university, because I love the fact that you can share the links and you can copy them and they sync everywhere. Since I started my business, I upgraded to the business plan because I have a lot of videos, I have a lot of footage that I need to send to people, and it's also been so easy to connect through all my different devices. For example, if I have to post an Instagram story about a YouTube video that I put out, I need to download the thumbnail, so then I just go to my phone, go on the app, and then download from there. So it's just been an all-around easy tool for me to make sure that everything is in its place, and I categorize the folder based on what I need. So that has been really helpful, and in a way it ties all of my digital processes together, and from idea to execution, we have gotten from point A to point B. Running a creative business isn't always neat, but with the right tools that fit your lifestyle and your work schedule, it does get a little more manageable. Thank you again to AkiFlow for sponsoring this video, and I hope you enjoyed this chatty biz video. I don't do this a lot, but I would love to geek out on different digital tools actually, because every time there's a new tool, I'm always curious on how it works and how I can integrate it with my process. And if you're starting out or you want to venture into your own creative business, I recommend really exploring and experimenting on different platforms and different tools that will help enhance your creative project. It's always a good way to really calibrate a system that works for you, because my system might work for me, it might work for you, it might not work for you, but hopefully this will give you some ideas on how to try it out using the tools that I mentioned earlier, and everything as usual will be listed in the description down below. Thank you again for watching. This has been Abby. I hope to see you in the next video, and take care. Bye!